Hey listeners, Dan Harris here, host of the 10% Happier podcast. Imagine all your audio entertainment available in just one place. That's what the Audible app is all about. With Audible, you can always find the best of what you love or discover something new. Audible has an incredible selection of wellness titles and originals like The Light Podcast by Michelle Obama, Work It Out by Mel Robbins, and Confidence Gap by Russ Harris. Membership includes access to Audible Originals, podcasts, and tons of audiobooks that you can download or stream as much as you want. And as an Audible member, you can choose one title per month from an ever-growing catalog of titles to keep. The Audible app makes it easy to listen anytime, anywhere, whether you're traveling, working out, doing chores, wherever your day takes you. New members can try Audible now free for 30 days. Visit audible.com/Harris or text Harris to 500-500.
The weather is cooling down a bit. The leaves are starting to fall. Yes, it's that time of year again, football season. And we all know the best part of any game day traditions are the ones that involve food. There's nothing like having everyone in your game day crew coming together to bring their best bites and argue over whose family makes the best chili. And while there's no need to mess with the perfection of game day classics, like a freshly grilled Oscar Mayer hot dog topped with Heinz ketchup and mustard, it's always fun to step out of your comfort zone and get creative with your recipes. Because there's nothing more fun than adding to your list of game day traditions, like making a creamy and delectable queso dip with Velveeta cheese that can be eaten with so much more than just chips. Now is the chance for people across the nation to find out whose game day eats reign supreme. It's your turn to show off your tasty game day food traditions. Go to www.gamedayfoodtraditions.com to share a photo of your game day food tradition to enter to win $10,000. Once again, that's www.gamedayfoodtraditions.com to enter to win $10,000.
This is Full Change with Tom Laidlaw.
Well, Tom, we're down to the final two, and your boy Jack Eichel is leading the charge for Vegas.
Despite Jack Eichel in the finals.
No, he's playing great.
I know. I have to eat crow on that one. There's reasons why I don't like the player, but he's a super talented player, and obviously he's filling a role. Maybe it's one of those things too that in Buffalo he has a young guy. He was expected to be the guy. Now he goes into the Vegas there, and I've talked about Stone so many times. Pietrangelo on defense. Yep. He's more than just a guy on the team, but he's not the only guy.
In fairness, that was a Buffalo. They're on the upswing now. They're coming, but that was a terrible team he was on for years.
Yeah, totally. So just the way he handled himself. But we talked about that before.
That's fair. But now he's got his squad, and he's their offensive leader playing against the emerging superstar in the NHL, because Matt Tkachuk is just like he's become the guy now, and he's
the clutch goals, the physical play, the intimidation. There's you almost want to go back to like a Mark Messier kind of effect on the game, right? Like
3 game winners in the semifinal, 2 overtimes, and he has such confidence that they're such great personalities. The Tkachuk brothers, they're like they kind of McDavid is great, but he's kind of vanilla, very bland. Yeah. Tkachuks are alive, they're
I was listening to the NHL Network, and somebody was telling a story about Tkachuk was on. I think it was during the playoffs at some point, and the coach put a line on against him, the other team's coach. And Tkachuk went by the bench and looked at the coach. He says, "You want to put that line out there against me?" Like almost Larry Birdish, right? Like,
You need that. You need that personality, and that's awesome. The game definitely needs that. I think the Florida team, they're a really good team. They won the President's Trophy last year. They squeaked in this year, but now they're up against. I think it's going to be a great series.
One word, Bob. Sergei Bobrovsky.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, if he plays the way he has played in the past, he's going to give them a shot to win. I don't think they have quite the firepower that Vegas has. And apparently, I didn't realize this. Vegas takes very few penalties, too. This one team.
Peter Angelo took a nice one against Draisaitl in the last game. But also, they're getting great goaltending from Aiden Hill. So
and that's a surprise. And that always happens. You see the teams that are successful in playoffs. There's always one guy that's going to step up that going into the playoffs, you weren't counting on him at all. Right?
Here's a good question, too, because Bobrovsky, if you look at him, and they keep showing this on social media, he loses a ton of weight every series. Did that happen to you when you were playing?
Yeah, you do. You really get drained. Mentally and physically, you're drained. You don't realize it really until it's all over. Like when my first year in the league, we went to the semifinals. I didn't feel bad. I think you're so pumped up.
Yeah.
Wow, this is cool.
You're also 22 years old then?
Right. And then when it's over with, you step back and like the mental part of it too. It's like you didn't understand how much pressure you were under.
Yeah.
You really didn't feel it because you're just constantly going all the time.
Does this happen to you? One of my daughters does theater, and after every show is over, they have like this post-show depression for a little while. It goes on for like a week or so. They're just like, because they lost. They've done this thing.
Right.
And they finished. Does that happen to you after a season ends?
Yeah. Yeah, you do, especially if you've had a good team and you don't do well in the playoffs. It's like you're like it's oh God, you can't do anything about it, right? It just bugs you for a certain period of time. But yeah, it is. It's funny looking back at the playoffs. How much more fun! Like the regular season is great. Obviously, you're playing in the National Hockey League; it's a dream come true. But when you get the playoffs, so there's a couple ways looking at it. Again, like my first year, we weren't expected to do too much, but then we went on a pretty good run. Like that was exciting because like you're going into every series. You're playing in LA, we beat them up. Playing St. Louis, they had a good team.
More reporters following you now.
More reporters. It's sunny outside. You're outside waiting for the bus, and you got to
weather's nice.
Yeah, weather's nice. You don't practice very much. You just get out there on the ice and kind of tool around a little bit. But then the games mean so much, and the tension and the physical play. Yeah.
Well, take yourself back to '86 because you win those 2 series against Philadelphia and Washington, and then you run up against Patrick Waugh, and our friend Chris Nyland, and then what happens to you after? Like, what's your mental state after that series?
Frustrating. It's the same way my first year where we won the 2 series and we lost to the Islanders 4 straight.
Okay.
So it's frustrating because you're playing so well, and I think part of it you look back at. This happened in LA when we beat Edmonton. We came back. We were down in the series 3-1, won that, and then we played Calgary after we played terrible.
Yep.
I don't know if it was a letdown. Did we respect them too much? I think that was partly the case with the Islanders my first year. We respected them too much. I thought we didn't play as hard against them as we did against St. Louis and LA. So, yeah, that's frustrating because you think you look back and go, if we had played the same way in that series that we lost that we did in the 2 series that we won, we would have had a much better shot. But I guess that's a credit to the team you're playing.
Yeah, and credit to them also. All 3 of those teams went on to win the cup.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, good point.
And that's got to have you kicking yourself a little bit too, right?
It is true. Yeah,
should have been us.
Yeah, I remember. And I've told you the story. We had Clark Gillies on a show with Gresh. Gresh, I think Duguay was on the show as well, and he was really great. He said that year in '84 where they beat us in overtime when Kenny Morrow scored that goal, he said they thought that if we had beat them that we could have won the Stanley. Right. And you were happy to hear that he had that much respect for you. But at the same time, you're like, really?
Well, I think anyone watching knew that too. Like you had to go through that. You had to get through the Islanders to win the cup or the Flyers. So you guys. Yeah, you just bad timing.
It's funny. I recently watched that game 5 where Kenny Morrow scored. Wow, what a game that was! I couldn't like that. If somebody asked me now, what's the best game you ever participated in?
That was it.
It's got to be it.
That game is burned into my memory. I think I was 12. I think we've talked about this before with various players, but that the goal was a high stick. Even though I rooted like crazy for it, but it was a high stick.
Questionable.
But your buddy Gresh scores a magical goal game, the first goal of the game. But that one hurt as a Ranger fan, especially a kid. That one is like, you have that moment. Maybe you did with these moments. That one stuck in my mind when Morrow gets that puck and scores that goal.
No disrespect to Kenny Morrow, but
not a goal
Kenny
scorer.
Morrow, yeah. And got to remember Gresh too. Herb Brooks was coaching at the time, and Herb didn't like Gresh that much. So Gresh, that was only the second game of the series that Gresh played in.
I don't remember that. Yeah. Wow, that's crazy.
So he missed. And I say that as a compliment to him because of him to have that kind of confidence now to make the move on Dennis Potvin that he did in that goal. Because that's tough. You're out of the lineup, now you're a healthy scratch and you're doubting yourself.
Fans should go back and look at that goal on YouTube because it's almost like the goal Leach scored in Game 7 against the Devils. But we're gonna have Gresh on the show coming up. People should look out for that one. But and we'll talk about it. But yeah, what a great goal! And was Brooks playing him at center in that? He
was going back and forth. Yeah. Barry Beck had gotten hurt the game before, so he put Dave Maloney and Gresh both in the lineup. They were not in the lineup before. The funny thing with Gresh too is when you watch the goal he scored, and again, total compliment to Gresh. We talked about this. He's not very fast.
He lulled him to sleep.
But he's got the stick control and everything. I watch him do that and I go, how the heck do you do that?
Yeah, I mean, and for a big guy too at the time, he had just great hands. That's a great move.
Yeah.
And then of course, I think let's remember. So I think Bossy got one.
Oh,
and then did he get the first goal?
Yes, he did. And I was on the ice and I tried to deflect it.
And then Gresh. And then I think, was it Stefan Pearson or Thomas Janssen got the second goal?
Janssen, I think it was, yeah.
Okay, and then 39 seconds left.
Dom Maloney scores.
Pavlich takes a shot, right? Yeah. Dom Maloney bangs in the high stick.
And that overtime was unbelievable. It was back and forth. There's hardly any whistles, and it's just back and forth. And it wasn't like there was no chances. Goaltenders were making fantastic saves.
Yeah, they were. Unbelievable. The hand off his he was amazing. But then I remember Mikko Leninen whiffing. And then Larry Patey falls down.
Bob Brook had a good opportunity, I think, too, in the overtime. Yeah,
these are the ones that I see over and over, and I'm sure you do too. And it's amazing that you can talk about this. Both of us, you as a player, me as a kid watching, can talk about this game 30 plus years later, and it's still like vivid.
It was epic. of all the games I've ever watched, even, and I'm not just saying it because I was in it, but the energy level and the hitting,
and not to mention, you guys are trying to. They were, the Islanders were obnoxious. Their fans with that drive for 5. They're going to win 5 cups in a row. And you guys were going to stop them. You had them.
And we had them. If we won the game before at the Garden, then the series is over.
Well, you'd smoked them in, what was it, game 3, like 7-2 or something, and then oh man. But those games anyway. Stanley Cups, best time of the year. Stanley Cup playoffs.
It really is. Yeah, it's a little unfortunate with the NHL right now, with it. It's Florida and Vegas, right? So won't quite the interest, but it'd be a good series though too. I hope people do watch it because the hockey's going to be good.
It won't. Yes, but you know what you'll have after this? You'll have emerging and growing markets in Vegas, totally. Southern Florida.
Yep, that's a very good point. When they won in Raleigh, all the fans, outside.
Look at this shape of Texas now with hockey. Yeah, they're emerging. All right, so now we got to get down to it. Who do you have?
Well,
you going with Jack, your boy Jack?
See, that's the thing. So Jack's on Vegas. I don't like Jack, so I have a hard time picking them. I do think overall their defense and their forwards are better than Florida's, but Bobrovsky's there for Florida. Now he's still iffy because he has had his ups and downs, but this playoffs has been pretty good for him.
Yeah, very good.
So if he plays the way he can, I think Florida has enough. I like Tkachuk. I like his attitude. I like his arrogance, and I mean that in a very good way as a compliment to him. So I'm going to go with Florida in 6 games.
All right. I am going to also take Florida, and I'm going to take Matt Tkachuk for the Conn Smythe.
Yep. Well, so far, I guess he's got
him or Bob.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Unless what if like Carter Verhaeghe steps up or something? Anything could happen. But I think Tkachuk's.
Yeah, especially if Florida wins, it's got to be Bob or Tkachuk.
I think Tkachuk is announcing himself on the league stage, and he's going to could be maybe the face of the NHL.
Well, I heard somebody say, and I kind of still dispute it, but Connor McDavid is just so talented. Draisaitl is so talented.
They are.
Yeah, but the impact player right now in the league, the guy that makes the difference the most is Tkachuk.
And 100-point player.
Yeah, you're right. It's not just a guy that's like 60 points or something.
Then when you have the Miami Heat players wearing his jersey, right? He's coming. This is what we need.
How does it feel in Calgary right now? Where I know he kind of forced his way out of town because he said he wasn't going to resign. But now they don't even make the playoffs. No, the guys that they got there, like
Huberdeau had a 50-point season. Yeah.
Which what I think that's an anomaly. I think he's a better player than that, and he'll come back. I mean, let's see, he signed a big contract. Yep. Sometimes that messes guys up a little bit. A lot of expectations when you come into a city like Calgary. It's such a hockey city. So I still think, they did what they had to do. I remember saying after all those trades happened, yeah, he did a much better job than I thought they were going to get done.
Yeah, well, as you were in the agent business for 22 years, as I've heard, when a player says, I'm not signing here, your hands are tied.
Especially when it's a player at that level. You can't let him go and not get anything for him. So to get the package back that they did, I would still, even though what's happened right now, I would still say, listen, they did a great job. Yeah. They did.
Well, it's almost like the Rangers with Patrick Kane. Like now he just had hip surgery.
Yeah, I know.
And you knew something was wrong, but you had to get him.
Well, that's the thing for Chris Drury. We've talked about this before. Chris Drury, the general manager of the Rangers, when Kane comes out publicly and says he wants to be a New York Ranger, and if you don't go get him, and then you lose in the first round, everybody's like, why did you get Patrick Kane?
But also he should have said, I want to play for the Rangers, and I have a wonky hip, which he didn't say.
I know. That is true. Yeah, if he'd announced that in advance, then they're saying, because obviously the Rangers knew that he had a bad hip. Because if he announced it in advance, he said, listen, I'm a little banged up right now, but I want to go try to help the Rangers win a cup.
Now when you look back, it looks like, he looked like he was wincing or disinterested. And obviously there's a reason for that. He was facing hip surgery in the offseason.
And you wonder what kind of damage did that do to the psyche of the team? Right?
Sure.
You bring this guy in, you move people down in the lineup that has a solid spot. He really can't perform the way everybody wants him to perform, but he's hurt. Right. He just can't do anything about it.
Yeah, we got Patrick Kane, but it's also like, but his hip is shot.
Yeah, and now I'm Hedl, and I'm playing up in the top 6. Now I'm on the the bottom 6, and then those guys aren't doing anything. And again, Panarin didn't have a great series.
Also, it was Stanley Cup is coming, but Rangers still don't have a coach. Who do you think it's going to be?
Well, a lot of people are talking about the Knobloch up in Hartford. It's a minor league team, but do you bring a coach in that has never coached in the NHL before into a market like the New York Rangers with a player like Shesterkin, who's a star player, who you're saying this team should win? Right. But there's a lot of ifs there too. I mean, the young kids have got to take another step forward. They kind of took a step backwards in this playoff.
So who's the guy? The front runner, it seems to be Laviolette, but Larry Brooks just had an article out saying that Patrick Waugh is the perfect candidate. So who knows?
Patrick Waugh. I mean, he certainly has that reputation of being that fiery guy.
Oh yeah.
But is that what players are going to like? Do they respond to that now?
It seems like the players today they have about a 2-year shelf life with a coach, and then they just tune them out.
And it's all, and again, they're fantastic athletes, but different athletes than when I played,
Yep.
right? Like coaches like a Mike Keener or Herb Brooks even would play more of those mind games, like, and come down and kick you and rear end and get you going. You can't do that.
Well, we had Mark Howen recently. He said he grew up knowing or being told that the coach is always right.
Yeah, totally.
So
yeah,
that mindset has definitely changed.
It's just, it's I don't know, it's a more thoughtful player now that needs to be explained, have things explained to him a little bit more. Like coaches didn't explain it to you before. Like get out there and do what I tell you to do.
It's more a holistic approach to coaching hockey players.
That's nice. That's beautiful.
Thank you very much.
Looking forward to it a lot.
And please like, subscribe, share, and leave us a review on Apple if you're enjoying this podcast.
Yeah, I've had a lot of people. I've doing a lot of events lately. People coming up and really been happy with the Full Change podcast.
Awesome.
Especially the part that I do on it. They kind of question.
They say Tom Laidlaw's obviously the machine, the White Rock, the machine, the legend,
the White Rock.
Who's the other guy?
I've been doing a lot of events lately. I had a fun event we did yesterday.
The Gay Hockey Association.
That was fun event. Yeah, that was interesting.
New York City
Gay Hockey Association had a dinner at Chelsea Piers. I went to, and they were having a lot of fun. Did
you get on the ice? Did you wheel or no?
No. The game's over when I got there. I was just the celebrity at the dinner. Yeah, and you know what? They didn't care about me at all. They were having fun. It was actually pretty funny to watch because they just finished playing the game. They've got the cocktail hour and they were pounding the cocktails. There's party time for them.
I'm sure. Did more people recognize you from Survivor or from hockey?
I don't think they recognized me at all. I had to tell them who I was. I had the shirt on. I'm going up and introduce myself. I'm Tom Laidlaw, play for the Rangers. Oh, that's great. I'm getting another beer. It's pretty funny.
The other day, right?
Yeah, I hate to call it a fun day. A teacher at PS20 in Flushing, Queens, gym teacher, had got hit by a motorcycle. And apparently he's one of those guys that the school just loved him. The kids loved him. He was just happened to be the stories. And the reason I say it was somewhat of a fun day, they weren't really necessarily mourning his loss. Sure. It was more celebrating his life. And it was great to watch. They had John Wallace from the Knicks was there, former player, and they had a basketball game. And the young kids were very sweet. They put together a monument for the teacher, and the family was all there. So it was, again, you'd hate to say that it was a fun event to be to, but it's like,
but it was a celebration.
Yeah, like the impact he had made on everybody's life, you could really see it, and they were proud of that. It was kind of like it was highlighted now how great of a person he was.
You get to do some amazing things working as a Ranger alumni representative.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
You know what? I'm very fortunate. I get to do a lot of events with kids that are good stuff. Those kind of events. We had an event after that one at Central Park. Chase Bank put on a 5K run.
Did you run? Did you get out and run?
No, I didn't. I had to hold the finish line tape.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. It was funny.
Did you lariat anybody coming through or no?
Well, we were thinking about that. Like lifting it up, like
clothesline.
Yeah. That's funny. So, yeah, I've been very fortunate to do a lot of Ranger stuff lately. It's a lot of fun. So meet a lot of good people.
Awesome. Enjoy the show.
Tom, we got a real tough guy on this show. We got a good fighter, unlike yourself. We have a two-time Stanley Cup champion, unlike yourself.
There you go.
And we have a guy who's actually living kind of in the wilderness. We have Stanley Cup champion Grant Jennings from Alaska today.
Great to meet you, Grant. We played against each other, but neither one of us crossed the red line, so we never really got to know each other at all, right?
So I was trying to think of if we ever ran into each other literally.
Yeah. We both of us get to the red line, dump it in. Yeah. All right, great to meet you again. So where'd you grow up then? Where's home for you?
I was born in Hudson Bay, Saskatchewan, and my dad was a game warden and bush pilot. Like we had our own airplane, couldn't see the government, so I was born there. Then I grew up in Melfort, Saskatchewan. We moved there, and that's where I played my minor hockey.
Oh, okay. Good.
They have a junior team there now, like a tier 2 team.
When you started, were you a defenseman?
Yeah. Well, no, actually, I was a left wing.
Oh, okay.
That was my first year scored. They found out pretty quick that wasn't going to work. So I moved back to D there my second year, Tom Thumb, I guess, whatever you want to call it. And my second year midget, I played at Notre Dame. I came out of Melfort, went to Notre Dame Hounds with Wendell Clark and Russ Courtnall. We had a great team.
Right.
So I played at Humboldt 1 year. I was going to take a scholarship to North Dakota.
Oh, you were? Wow, okay.
Yeah. Well, I went down there on a recruiting trip. They wanted me there, blah, blah, blah. I wasn't too good at school.
There's another thing you and I.
Yeah, you guys are like brothers. Jeez.
Well, I went out there. I got about a 52 average. Full ride. They said, Grant, here's your major. It's recreation. I'm like, what? That is a rec? Can I go in business administration? And I said, no. Here's your major. Here's your classes.
Oh, really? Wow.
Oh, yeah.
That's weird. They don't usually do that. The coach doesn't tell you what your classes are.
why didn't me and our goalie too. Greg Strom ended up going there. My classes were like playground activities, wanted to bowling, skiing.
Oh, I took bowling in college too.
And they put all my hard classes, the compulsories, like English, math, whatever,
right,
to the last 2 years.
Right.
Because they knew I wouldn't be there. They figured I was going to go pro.
Right.
So
that's sneaky.
You got to show up for the first day of your course, and then, that's it. Then if you run into trouble, we got people to write tests for you.
Wow, they came right out and told you that? Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They were trying to get me, man. I was wanted. So anyway, I went back home and I was excited. I told Dad. My dad's like, "You're not going there." So
I
said no, and I went to Saskatoon and played for.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that.
The WHL thought I was going to go play college.
Right. And your dad wanted you to get an education. That's why he wanted you to go now. Okay.
Looking back, I probably should have went. I was drafted or undrafted. They listed by the Regina Pats at the time, when I was like 13. So I started with the Pats, and then I said, I'm not going there. LaForge was there. I'm not going to play there. They traded me to Brandon for Todd Lombard and Barry Trotz.
Oh.
Went from Regina to Brandon for Barry Trotz and someone else.
So Barry Trotz, everybody knows, was coach of the Islanders, Washington Capitals, Nashville Predators.
I ended up, I was in Brandon. They came to the house in Jersey, and they wanted me to come there. I said, no. Next day or week later, I got traded to Kamloops. So I ended up being traded from Kamloops to Winnipeg Warriors. So they came to my house with a contract and everything, money. And I said, I'm not going to Winnipeg. So
you're a rebel.
Well, yeah. Yeah. So then I got a hold of Prince Albert, and I said, I want to come here. And so they just said, Winnipeg wants too much for you. And I said, okay, fine. So then Lou Winnecki got a hold of the wind of it. So he traded for me to Saskatoon. I said, okay, that's 2 hours away. I'll go.
I didn't know that. Man. Nobody does that for him. It's pretty supposed to work.
So I ended up playing in Saskatoon, and never was drafted. I pissed off a lot of people not going to North Dakota.
So you didn't get drafted by the NHL?
Nope.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I had guys drafted all around me, right? I'm watching this, and I'm just saying, well, I'm better than this guy. What the hell's going on?
So you think you got a bad reputation because you turned down North Dakota?
Yeah, I think so. And all the WHL teams.
Yeah.
So I got, like you said, I was kind of a rebel. Well, they didn't like that.
No.
So I was playing in Saskatoon with Wendell, of course. Wendell
Clark?
Yeah. So
I didn't know.
Well, they moved him up to Florida at the end of the year.
Oh, okay.
Toronto, So, I was, a lot of overshadowing there. Trent Yanni went second round to the Blackhawks. Yeah. Duncan McPherson, the guy that died over in Austria, fell into a crevasse. He was drafted first round to the Islanders. We had a stacked defense. It was good, but like I said, they didn't draft me. So I ended up, my year when I was 19, I just got offered a contract by Pittsburgh, Washington Capitals, and Vancouver Canucks. Right. And at that time, I'm not going to Vancouver because of the Canadian dollar. And Washington Capitals had the best farm team in Binghamton there.
Right.
I figured because we split with Hartford at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I went.
You signed with Washington first. Oh, okay.
For 3 years. So I was just in Toronto with my son in his tournament, and they had the Caps were in town. So I took my son because I played in Toronto. I got to go to the alumni bowl. And Lou Francis Gay, they're both live there now, but they played. I played those guys in Washington. So.
Okay, I got to ask you about Lou Francis-Setti. Him and I were always butting heads. He's a good guy.
He's a good guy, but he's bull-headed,
Oh yeah. Oh man, win some battles. Yeah.
Wow, that makes sense.
Yeah, he's funny, and he's always talking to him and I are talking back and forth. We're all elbowing each other in the head and cross-checking everything. And have a little conversation about it. And
he would run the shit out of you. He would take your fucking head off. He didn't hold back. He was fast too, but out of control. He was there for forechecking and first guy in kind of thing.
Yeah, totally. He did his job. Yeah.
So I brought half the team up. Those 16 U's. They're all 15 years old. They're all in awe, in the box. And Lou starts shaking their hands, squeezing their hands.
Oh,
he starts squeezing all the kids' hands. I'm like Lou, we got a game tomorrow. So anyway, I ended up in Washington 3 years, mostly in the minors. Shane Sherrill, me, Jim Thompson, Sean Cronin.
Oh, Cronin. Oh, Cronin the Barbarian, right? Didn't they call him Cronin the Barbarian?
We had a toughest team in the league, but
Right.
we just couldn't get past Rochester. Who had, a couple tough guys, but they had skill there.
Right.
They had, career minor leaguers, so they always ended up but anyway, 3 years there in Binghamton, and then so they traded me to Hartford.
So, and what year was that then, Grant? We went to Hartford.
Well, I went pro 85, so I got traded to Hartford in 88, and then I went and played there 88, 89.
And then Grant's part of like the trade that turned around the Pittsburgh Penguins.
But ESPN's best trade.
Oh, is that right, Wes? Oh, I didn't know that. Oh,
Well, look what they got. They got Grant, and they got a guy named Ol Samuelson and Ron Francis.
right.
There was a lot going on at Hartford. Rick Lee was messing with guys. He took Ronnie's COA.
Oh, I didn't know that stuff. Oh, wow. Wow.
He come into his office. He'd be smoking a cigar. He goes, "I don't know why you're in this league. You shouldn't even be here."
Rick Lee was like that?
Oh, yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that about him.
He got a Ronnie, Alfie not so much, but anyway, come trading deadline or getting close to it, and I got a phone call one night. Well, I told him, I said, "Trade me, get me out of here." Wasn't the best.
Hartford, yeah.
It wasn't. I mean, it wasn't in New York City.
Yeah, no kidding. At the mall there, Rick was attached to the mall and everything. Yeah. What was the old song?
Bonanza.
Greatest goal song in hockey history.
Come on the ice. And they played it in Binghamton. So I got 3 years in Binghamton. And then they traded me to Hartford. And I get the same thing for 3 years.
Oh, it sticks in your head, right? All these years later, you still remember, yeah.
I get traded there to Pittsburgh. They called me that night. And they said, you're getting traded to Pittsburgh. With two other guys. We haven't worked it out yet. So I was the first guy in that trade, I guess.
Yeah, what did you think at that point then? Were you happy about that trade?
Yeah. I mean, I had no idea what Pittsburgh was like, or, I thought they weren't that good, but, just get me out of here.
Yeah.
And I show up at the airport at 6 a.m. I don't know who I got traded with.
Right.
And Ronnie and Alfie show up, and I'm like, did we have a fucking road trip today?
Why? Because you thought they'd never trade those guys?
What are you doing here? That lightened up my spirits for sure.
Yeah, good.
And then we got in there. Of course, everybody just eyeing us up because we had a game that day against Vancouver that night.
Right.
So we had pregame skate, and everybody's, they lost 3 of their buddies, kind of thing.
That's right.
So yeah, we played that night. I scored a goal.
Well, there you go. There you go.
Top shelf one. So I was the leading scorer of that trade. But we would go into like they gave us an apartment, each of a hotel downtown,
right.
And they gave us a Cadillac for all 3 of us. So we go to the grocery store, and old ladies be pointing at us. Those defensive guys. They got that football mentality there.
Sure.
Get that? Yeah. Even the old ladies like us being there.
How was Big Mario when you got there? Big Mario the new.
He was quiet, but
yeah,
he was happy to see us for sure. Once everybody saw us how we played,
right,
and they were just like, "Holy shit!" That's how you play defense.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, because Zarley Zalapsky was, I remember him, he was a good player, but more
offensive.
Grant, how was Yager that first year?
He was good, but I didn't think he was, I remember playing against them, and they were very, I would abuse him as much as I could.
Yeah. And he didn't fight back at all either. Yeah.
No. And they didn't have any regular players that could do it.
Yeah.
Deal with knees. Jay was there, but, he didn't play.
Jay was a great guy, but this Jay Caulfield we're talking about, he couldn't stand up when he fought, though. I felt bad for him. He was terrible.
Yeah.
I think he was more of a
football player.
Yeah, yes.
So, he was with the Rangers, right?
Yep, I played with him. Yeah, fantastic guy.
Yeah, great. He's still there. He still he does color. We were in New Haven, so I was with Binghamton.
I felt so bad for him. Every time he got in a fight, he would fall down. He just couldn't stand up.
Right at center ice. Boom. Was one punch to me.
Did you?
Yeah, it wasn't pretty. I was just watching him fight the other day. Watched him fight Kroger.
Oh.
He just couldn't keep his feet.
I know. He'd fight anybody, too. He wouldn't back down from anybody, yeah.
Grant, who was the toughest guy you scrapped with?
Well,
not Tom Lee.
Probably.
He beat the shit out of me in the minors when he was in Adirondack, and I just come back from it. I got hit with a slap shot here. Dale DeGray hit me, so I couldn't play for like 3 weeks or 2 weeks because I cracked my arm in a molar. I couldn't see for a fucking week, but anyway, I came back and I had a screen on, and we played Adirondack, and I'm out of shape, and Pro called me up, called me on, and I fucking said, "Okay, let's take that helmet off," and I did.
Oh,
He fucking hit me hard, right on the forehead, right there, and then he hit me in the teeth.
Oh.
So he messed his hand up so bad. He didn't cut me, but anyway, give me a concussion when he hit me right there in the forehead.
And what's the best fight you ever had in your behalf, like beating the other guy?
Kroger.
Oh.
It's in Hartford. He comes up after that, so we both make the NHL. He comes up. It's on YouTube.
I gotta watch it.
Bad video. But he comes up and he hits me, cross-checks me, and he goes, "Let's go, you fuck." Comes through the exact words. I dropped my left glove and boom. Yeah. He doesn't know where he is. You'll see in the video. Gerard Gallant come after me after that. He thought I hit him so fast that he thought I speared him or I sticked him.
You said Gerard Gallant came after you?
Yeah, he was a scrappy guy. Yeah, he was scrappy, but he wasn't. He was scrappy, but he wasn't in your category. Yeah.
I am like, "What are you gonna do?" He's like yipping at me. "You always stick to whatever." So we all served our minutes, and then next shift I was out there. He lined up against me.
Proby?
Yeah, like primary who coached me in Washington, or didn't really coach me that much. But Sam, he's out lined up against me, and I'm like, "Let's get this over with." Then they didn't even drop the puck. We both could have got suspended.
Right.
But they let it slide, and he won it. But I just missed him again. Like I almost got him again.
Oh, well.
But I missed. So, but anyway, he beat my head a little bit. But
you had some good scraps against Cam Neely too.
Cam Neely, yeah, we were going at it quite a bit. But I mean, I didn't like doing it. It's like anybody else.
Yeah, there isn't many guys. We had Chris Nyland on a show, and he said that he liked it. But rarely guys, the heavyweight fighters, really like doing it.
But I just, I like to play the game, and but it just came with part of my DNA.
Well, it was required. Once you built that reputation too, it's hard to take it.
Sure. I knocked out Domi in Winnipeg. Did
you really? Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know anybody could get to that head of his.
Oh,
so it's like a cinder block.
I caught him.
Oh,
the first time I'd ever been cut in a fight.
Yeah.
He's in Winnipeg and I'm in Pittsburgh. Well, Alfie had speared him just before that. So the next ship, Alfie's out there. Here comes Ty, and it's in Winnipeg. And he's like, just, radar. And Alfie, coming to the base. Why you get out there? So
did he seriously say that to you?
So off I go, lefty. He just said lefty. Everybody know why he was thrown to the bed. Wasn't that he was tired. He's scared, right? So I get out there, and he just was looking for someone, and he just picked the wrong guy.
Yeah, no kidding.
At the time, he just walked into it. Boom, same thing, left. But he didn't go down. I couldn't believe it.
He's a hard man to hurt. Yeah.
So then what I did was he started kind of coming back at me. I flipped with it. And I banged his head on the ice. Like, okay, just stay here, Ty. Gonna get you off the ice kind of thing. Right. He got up, he didn't know where he was, and he was holding his head. So 3 weeks later, we both got traded to Toronto.
Oh, good. Yeah. That's the strange thing a lot of people don't understand, right? Like guys like do that, beat each other up. Yeah. And you go to the same team, you had to be a buddies, right? Yeah.
And then like we would be practicing, Burnsy, Pat would have these drills where it's one-on-one with the puck in the corner, and you battle, you go to battle, and everybody would just stand back and they'd put me and Ty together, and they just sit there and laugh because we didn't give a shit where the puck was.
Right. Oh, that's funny. So how many years were you at Pittsburgh then?
4.5.
Right. And you won 2 cups there, back to back?
Yeah, can you talk about that? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, after the trade, we started playing pretty well. And we played. I don't have to look in the inside of my rings who we played. I don't even remember. We played Jersey the first series, and that's when Frankie Pietrangelo saved our ass against Stanley. He just come out of nowhere, and Stanley had to open that. Brassos and Pietrangelo or Frankie bluff come up, boom, right in the glove. It was a 7th game, I think. I don't know. But anyway, Then we played Washington Capitals.
Oh, your old team.
Yeah. They had us down 3-1, and we came back and beat them.
Wow.
That was first year we won the cup. Then we played Boston. We beat them, and then we played Stars in the final.
That's right.
And we won it in Minnesota, back at the old barn there.
So you're a young kid from Canada growing up, and now you're winning the Stanley Cup. How'd that feel?
Everybody dreams of that, right? Or thinks about it, but when it happens, it's kind of
it'd be unbelievable, the feeling. Yeah.
It was 3 weeks of party in Pittsburgh, get out of jail free card,
Graham, were you there when the cup wound up in Mario's pool? Were you at that
Yeah,
party?
I was. Yeah.
Can you tell us about that a little
There you
bit?
go. Yes, let's go.
Okay, well, so party at Mary's Pool. He's got his house, big house, and there's a waterfall going into the pool, big place. And, we are all dressed up. Women are dressed up in dresses, and somebody's got this dumb idea to start throwing people in the pool.
With the all dressed up too.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
all the women, coaches and we pissed. They're all pissed off, on the left. I remember it was Troy Loney and Phil Bork. They climbed up the waterfall with the cup, and they threw it in the pool. Well, it cracked. Oh, and it sunk. It filled up with water, went down to the bottom of the pool. But we're like, oh shit! We cracked it. We just saw it sunk.
Right.
But it's kind of sealed, so it shouldn't have. Anyway, so we got to figure out how to get it out of there. So we got guys diving down, rolling it up, and then to a certain point, then two other guys would have to go down, get up to the shallow end. We got up on the deck, and it's bleeding water.
That's gotta be a classic scene. Wish somebody had a video of that.
I don't know where it is, but I remember videoing it.
Oh, that's funny.
You guys saying to each other, "We just broke the friggin' Stanley Cup." What are you saying there?
And there's several adult beverages being had by that point.
We're hammered. We're we're just beer drunk, for the last week. But anyway, so we get out of the pool and we're looking at it. We're like, well, we got to tell actually, because the next day we had a big thing at the point where it's 40,000 people showing up, and we had to go up the stage and everybody had to hold the cup up. So we call management, and they're like, you asshole.
Oh yeah.
So they get a vote. They call Montreal, and they let the league office, and they call Toronto, and they're like, hey, we cracked the cup. And so we got to fly a silver welder from Montreal to Pittsburgh to get this fixed, but you can't get there until whatever. So so if you see the videos of us holding the cup up at the point at Pittsburgh, Three Rivers Point.
So normally people would grab it on each end, right? That's how they hold the cup up. You have to put your hands underneath it.
It broke. It broke the whole cup.
I tell you, I would love to see the video of it sitting on the deck of the pool with the water pouring out of it. That's just
You know what? You just gave me incentive to find it.
okay. I can just imagine the scene too. Everybody's a bit mad. The women are all dressed up. You're throwing the cups in it.
Coaches thought they were safe. No.
Oh no, not with the cup.
Just got down, just jumped in the pool ourselves. But
yeah.
So then I left the party about 5 a.m. I think I was driving back to my place. The house I had there. Wife had already left, right? So I'm by myself, and I'm like, I get lost, of course. So I see a Kogo. It was like a 7-Eleven, and there's a cop car there.
And now you're drunk, and you're driving.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Yeah, why it was at the time.
Yeah, sure.
So I go, hey, where am I?
Does he know who you are at this point?
Oh, yeah. He goes, you been drinking? I'm like, yeah. I go, I just left the party. He goes, at Mario's. I'm like, yeah. He goes, where do you live? I'm like, well, I tell him. He goes, follow me. So he took me home.
That's the benefits of winning the Stanley Cup right there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Funny stuff. So then the next year you win again, right?
Yes. We beat Chicago in 4 games. But same thing, though. We play against who did we play against in the first round?
You actually played Washington, and then you played the Rangers in the second round.
We played you guys in that second.
Yeah, I was gone by then, but yeah.
Well, okay, so the first round we play against Washington. Again, they have us 3-1 again, and we come back and beat them. I mean, that ghost followed them for until they won it.
Yeah, they had good teams for a long time, just couldn't win. Yeah,
especially when they played Pittsburgh. They had Pittsburgh again 3-1, when Pittsburgh won.
So Grant, then you get the Rangers next round. They're President's Trophy winners. They have Messier. They're favored to win the series.
President's Trophy. That's a
bad omen. Yeah,
but then there's that goal that goal on Richter that Ron Francis goal from 100 feet out.
Yeah, I don't remember anything about that series.
Wow. So
you won.
Yeah. So who and you played Chicago in the finals and beat them?
Yeah, we played Boston again in the semis. Oh, I was out of the lineup then. That's when I got pulled out, and then so we beat Boston 4 straight. They pulled me out in the Rangers series for I got hurt for a bit.
Right.
But then we won, the next 2 games, and they're not going to change the lineup.
Sure, sure.
We get to Boston, same thing. 4 straight. I can't get back in the lineup. Get to the finals. I'm like, they're trying to get me in the lineup. We beat Chicago 4 straight.
Yeah.
So I was sitting on the sidelines going.
So now that's a different flavor there, right? I mean, you win the cup the first time you play a big role in it. Now you don't play for 2 series.
Yeah.
And then win. You still happy? As much happy as you were when you won it?
No.
Played?
It's just, you're kind of on the outside looking.
Yeah, you don't feel like you're part of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, especially when you're a team guy like you were. Like, that was about you. Like, you had to be a team player to play. So now all of a sudden the team's winning and you're not part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of stung a little bit. Still does. But,
yeah. Right.
40 years later, or whatever, 30 years later, 30 years, I guess.
And how was the party after winning that cup?
Not as good as the one.
Well, yeah. Do you get a talking to from management? Are they like, hey, guys, don't break the fucking cup, whatever you do?
Well, yeah, there was that too. Yeah, it was a little more contained. But the first cup, that city went crazy.
Yeah.
They hadn't won since the Steelers in the 70s, and the Pirates in the 70s, and they were primed. And, there was 40,000 people at the airport.
Yeah.
Or 30,000, whatever it was, at the old Pittsburgh airport at 4 a.m. when we got back.
That's a great sports town, isn't it, Pittsburgh?
Oh, yeah. I go back now, and I'll be walking down. I usually get seats because I like it. I'll go up and visit Mario.
Yeah.
His box in between periods or something. Say hi, but I'll be walking down to my seats and someone will yell, Jennings, get out there. I still recognize.
So you spent, what, you said 4.5 years in Pittsburgh? Then in Toronto. How long were you there?
Just for playoffs. Well, just for playoffs.
Oh, okay.
And we went and played against Chicago in the playoffs. And we lost in 7 games, so that was it.
Oh, well. Yeah. And then where after Toronto?
Buffalo. I found Buffalo.
Oh, you did free agent?
Buckler.
Oh, yeah, he's a different dude, right?
He's a dick. He's dead.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah, okay. All right.
My first son was being born in Rochester because they kept sending me down and pulling me back up because it's right there.
Right.
And my kid gets born and we're in Calgary on a road trip. I had to leave halfway through the road trip so they could piss. They're like that, it was all stage was set. I'm like, I gotta go. They're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, well, my kid's being born. And then, so then they loaned me to Atlanta, the IHL. They just said, get it, I said, well, my kid, I'm not.
Oh.
Well, can't you send them? I have my longhouse in Saskatchewan. But I shut down the winter. It's a fishing place. They said, well, can't you send them to your cabin? I'm like, they wanted me to send my kid and my wife to my cabin. Are you serious? But that's how they treated me there.
Right.
So I never forgave them for that.
Oh, no, I didn't care all that. So is that where it finished you? Is that where your career ended?
Yeah. Well, after I broke my wrist, so I ended up going to the IHL and played in Quebec for the Rafales. And I broke my wrist real bad just before playoffs. I got played 6 years.
Oh, really? Wow.
So next year I went to camp in Pittsburgh, and that's when Constantine came there and brought his new guys, and he didn't want anything to do with older guys.
Yeah, he wasn't that kind of a coach, yeah.
Like he was having problems with Yager, he didn't want it. He wanted all new guys, so I didn't have a hope in hell. I should have went somewhere else.
Right.
For a tryout, and
And that was it then? You were done?
Yeah, I went back to Canada, and then I was living at my house, just before Christmas. Jeff Brubaker calls me. Greg, can you come play for us? I guess, it's only half the season, but, So I ended up going there and then that was it. But my final game, we were in Vegas because I remember the ex-wife was just yipping at me, why are you spending all this money? So, anyways, I finally corral this guy in center ice, and I knock him out.
Yeah.
He goes to fall, and I grab him, and I held him up, and I beat him, and I'm, saying, you picked the wrong day. I've had a bad white day. Give it to this kid, right?
Oh, because your wife?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Married kid.
Oh, God.
He'll end up like you.
So, Grant, how do you wind up in Alaska? That's a pretty cool.
Well, so I went. I had to do something. I'm sitting at my house in Canada, and I used to fly. I was taking my pilot's license in Pittsburgh, and I remember there's a school right there for maintenance for engineering, aircraft engineering. So I, decided to go to school for 2 years straight, get my degree, associate's degree, and my licenses to fix airplanes. So then I was hired by U.S. Airways in Pittsburgh. And then I worked there for like 2 months, and 9/11 happened.
Oh.
So I got laid off and saturated the market with, pilots and mechanics. So I couldn't find a job anywhere. So my sister lived in Whitehorse, and I looked at Alaska and Anchorage, and there was jobs up here. So that's why I ended up here.
Wow. How long have you done that now?
20 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And I work for an oil company now, ConocoPhillips, major oil company.
Good deal.
Do you still fly, Grant?
No, I don't. Asked to pick it up again, but, by some of my buddies, I got airplanes. Maybe I will someday.
So any regrets at all from your playing career? Coming up as a kid or playing in the NHL, any regrets?
That's a good question. Yeah, not working out as hard as I should have. I tell my kid that. He's 15, and, getting on the bike.
Yeah.
But, back when we won my first year in Pittsburgh there with Badger.
Great day for hockey.
Yeah. He'd come up to me after the game. He'd go, "Come on, Grant, let's still ride the bike." And he asked me if I ride the bike with him. I mean, that's, I just relied on my national ability, and it got me there.
Yeah.
I could have been better, and that's a regret I have.
Yeah. Well, but times were different too, right? I mean, we know more about it now, about training. Like your son knows more. Where's your son playing?
Well, he's up here in Anchorage. He's drafted by the Prince Albert Raiders.
Okay.
WHL. So he's got some skill there, but he drives me nuts how they play. They're so soft. But he finishes the checks. It's like you're allowed to do it.
Yeah.
But he plays here for a high school team, and then he plays on a golf team. And we got next weekend we have our state tournament. Last year they had the 14U, and we went to nationals. We got second in the nation.
Wow.
For AA, not AAA, but still. So he's a pretty good player, defenseman, lefty, but he needs to find that lean gene.
Yeah, I know. But you said like the game is so different now too. It's almost like
I know.
Yeah,
They're so nice to each other.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that true? Yeah. Some of the stuff you see them in warm-ups and they're talking to each other, guys on the other team. We did that in our. We get benched. Oh yeah, totally. Well, guys would just kill you. Talking to guys in the. We were at Eddie Hospital. I started my career with here in New York, and he'd gotten traded around. Yeah, and then he was in Philly, and we were playing a game in Philly. Mike Keenan was coaching in warm-ups. We were shooting pucks at Eddie's feet down the other end, just messing with him because we're buddies. Keenan saw us doing it, and he wouldn't dress Eddie. Took him out of the lineup.
Really?
Said, "Oh, okay, that's good. We don't want him to line up either. That's good. Good job." Like Keenan was a jerk. Well, Mr. Jennings, it was great to meet you. It's the first time we met. We joked around about it because neither one of us crossed the red line. But I always did admire you as a player. You're a tough, great team player, and won 2 cups too. That's pretty good. Pretty cool. Big career.
Went by quick.
Yeah, it does go quick. Yes, definitely.
Yeah. I was in the league 8 years or 9 years.
Yeah.
But too bad the salaries weren't.
Oh, I know.
I mean, I would be here in Alaska.
Well, but the only problem with that is we were both divorced twice, so they would have got all the money anyways.
Well, there's that. So,
that's only money. It's only money.
Is your address still the same?
Mine?
You gave me. Yeah. I still owe you fish.
Oh, that's right. Yes, that's right. I forgot about that. Yes, it is the same. Okay, good. Yes, I got to get that fish right there. Yeah, get it.
Okay.
Good. Well, good luck with your son there too. You're a very interesting man. Get off to Alaska there. That's a great job.
We're going to a combine in Chicago in April. We got invited too. That's the USHL.
Well, thank you very much for coming on the show. It's great to talk to you.
So they break the Stanley Cup, and Grant Jennings has it on film somewhere.
Oh, I'll tell you guys have got to listen to this story. I'm telling you the story about the cup going in the pool after Pittsburgh won their first cup.
They're gonna love it. But where's that tape? We need that footage.
Yeah, we'll get that. We'll post that
They
too.
cracked the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, good job. He's a good guy too. Pretty interesting guy where he's living now and everything. The job he's got and the whole bit.
Yeah, very nonchalant about. Yeah, I'm a pilot.
Yeah.
Like, okay. So,
He's funny. That's a great story.
cool story.
Yeah. All right, Grasshoppers. Thank you for listening. We had a fantastic show. We'll see you next time.
Schwab Trading is now powered by Ameritrade to give you a new, elevated trading experience tailor-made for trader minds. Go deeper with Thinkorswim, the powerful, award-winning trading platforms now at Schwab. Unlock support from the Trade Desk, our team of passionate traders who live and breathe trading like you do. And sharpen your skills with an expanding library of online education crafted just for traders. All designed to help you trade brilliantly. Learn more at schwab.com/trading.